All right, so we have a holiday week, but the volumes on the Bitcoin ETF are still really solid, billion a day in volume, in trading volume. That's what we were just talking about, in trading volume.
Yeah, so the trading volumes are really high.
Right.
So they're in and outs, but the net inflows have slowed.
Yeah.
So net inflows are below 50 million a day this week. Assets under management are still a little under 60 billion. So we're not bleeding, but we're not growing a lot. However, the transactions of Bitcoin are huge because we're talking about people trading. What did they say the daily trade was? Daily cumulative volume. So we're talking about 300 billion. That's what I was saying. Was this?
Yeah.
This seems crazy to me that now what we're seeing is like hundreds of billions of dollars a day in Bitcoin being traded regularly between traditional clients. But it's not a net inflow anymore because they've got enough to trade around for the people who want to hold it.
Okay.
And so people are getting in and out of these funds to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars a day. That's trading in Bitcoin that's not on chain.
Right. That's going on a ledger in the background, right? It's not recorded. That's no price pressure.
Yeah, it's being recorded, but it's being recorded in the traditional finance way as shares in a fund that hold the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin's not moving, but the shares are flying around. So this is really good. This is showing an interest to actively trade crypto assets in the traditional markets. So that's a good harbinger of growth.
Right. It's becoming part of just the financial ecosystem of people trading in and out, seeing if they can hit some gains.
As professionals become more comfortable with the way that this particular asset class moves, they'll be more comfortable profiting from its movement. Right. This is one of the things that we've talked about for a long time is that it's hard to get into crypto and be somebody that's knowledgeable, truly knowledgeable about it in a broad way without spending the time and the energy to become familiar, to follow the cycles, to understand a little bit more about the communities that are involved. And as the traditional markets become more aware, it's going to be just like any other traditional market that grew up. Tech is kind of an area that plays different than, say, the steel industry. Right. But the people who profit from or trade in the steel industry are knowledgeable about its movements, just like the people in the tech industry are knowledgeable about its movements. And so as these become more mainstream and more information is known about how they trade on traditional markets, it's going to be much simpler for people to be invested in crypto, in a long-term way.
Oh, absolutely. You can open your Robinhood app, right? You can start participating without having to worry about hot wallets and security and seed phrases, but you can still.
But even broader adoption than that, if you start thinking about like mutual funds or assets that are like trackers for the S&P or the NYSE or the CME or whatever they are, they have these individuals that go out and pick a group of representative things, the top 100 or a subset industry. And then they create little funds that go with those. Well, those are going to trade in and out too. And as they start looking at that as a balancer of the portfolio of assets that they hold, more and more people will be putting crypto in there. And that's mass adoption in a quieter way.
Right. Wait till the Ethereum ETF hits too.
Ethereum ETF will go for a little while, but I kind of suspect that they're going to go right after that.
What do you mean?
Bitcoin opened the floodgate.
Right.
So now ETH is obviously number 2.
Right.
But who's next?
Solana.
Solana's obvious, right? So that's the next one. Who's after that? You're going to start looking at guys like Chainlink.
Right.
You're going to be looking at the ones that have been around. They're part of the way that the crypto ecosystem functions. So they're valuable. I would expect others like ENS domains. I think these are ones that have opportunities to become more traditional companies and grow into that world as it hybridizes.
Well, and then you're going to see ETFs that are a bundle. There's going to be one that has all of them in it. There's going to be one that has just Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're going to see.
Yeah,
it's going to take time, but
it's kind of like a war in the financial world for getting these assets on there too, because the SEC is not playing nice. It looks like they've changed their tune. And then you see they had the bill that was coming in for pro crypto holding for professionals and for businesses, publicly traded companies to hold.
Regulated industries.
That's what it was. Regulated industries. Yeah.
But,
so this is something where we got a veto out of the president's office.
Right.
And so even though they said they're pro crypto this week and all this whole thing about Trump taking crypto and now Biden's going to take crypto and everybody's pro crypto. Yay, yay. Oh, and veto. So they're not as pro crypto as they think they are, or they act like they are, or however you want to say that. So I think it's still a fight to get these multi crypto asset funds going. But I do see there's a crack in the armor has been found.
Yep.
The assets are flooding into the traditional world, and people are starting to say, well, why can't we have that? And so the more normies that come around and say, well, why can't I choose that? What's wrong with that? And they find out either A, they can self-custody it and do it themselves, and Wall Street's out, or B, which is the preferred answer on Wall Street, is Wall Street will get these assets for you and do it for you so that we can get a little slice of the pie.
That's right.
That seems much more of a real answer for how it's going to play out. And your office can't function if everybody in your office is telling you which way to go. If it's all different, you don't do anything. If it's all one way, you're going to have to go that way.
Right.
They're just going to have to go that way.
Oh, sure. And then when the lobbyists, well, not only lobbyists, but BlackRock and these institutions are involved in crypto, they're going to start lobbying the government, and they're going to.
Yes, that was my point. Is the more that we see traditional financial corporations, institutions, whatnot, becoming aware and valuing crypto, then they become promoters of opportunity because they want to make money.
Right.
Everybody wants to make money. Look, crypto is a growth industry. I've been saying this for a while. Crypto is growing. It doesn't mean that it's going to become the biggest thing in the world. It doesn't mean it's going to displace everything in the world. People talk about, oh, well, Bitcoin could replace dollars. I don't think dollars are going anywhere anytime soon.
Agree.
But more people are interested in crypto today than yesterday.
Yep.
And more people tomorrow will be interested than today.
Yep.
So we're in a growth phase. Growth phase means asset value rise, because it's limited assets with more interest will have a higher value. And there's only 21 million Bitcoin.
That's right. And, we were talking about lobbying. Standwithcrypto.org is a big lobbying group on Coinbase.
They're huge.
And right here on their front page, 52 million Americans own crypto. That's a big number, right?
That's up from like 30 million not that long ago.
That's right. And a lot of those people, they don't want their politicians taking away their future wealth. Right. And when it comes to money, they just might follow the politician that keeps the crypto in their pocket.
Yep.
Right. That's a big deal. And they have $87 million in their advocacy fund donated by crypto advocates. That's a lot of lobbying money. That's a lot.
That's a lot of palm greasing.
It is. It really is. I mean, the National Association of Realtors was the largest lobbying group in DC, and they're getting attacked. So I wouldn't be surprised if NAR went away. But in fact, I was telling you this morning, the All In podcast was talking about the crypto was now the biggest advocacy group in Washington, D.C. The biggest lobbying group is now crypto. So that money is going to get spread around for this election.
So the office is getting filled up with people pointing one way.
I think you're going to see politicians on both sides jumping into this. That's probably why we were talking about last week. The SEC changed its tactics a little bit. They got slapped by someone.
The bill that went to the president's office and was rejected was bipartisan and had broad support. It wasn't just a few crypto-friendly senators or congressmen trying to say, hey, I want this done, and trying to shove it around. It had broad support on both sides of the aisle. Yeah. I think that Congress is slowly becoming more savvy to crypto. They're recognizing that, hey, this is not going away.
Right.
And if it's not going away, then maybe there's a side I should be on.
Right.
Right. So because of my constituents, so maybe I should start thinking about what my constituents want me to be. Do they want me to be pro-crypto, or do they want me to be anti-crypto?
And who are their constituents? Is it the voters, or is it the institutions that pay money?
Well, that's a good question,
campaign?
Right? It's a really good question. The voices that they hear, are those the voices of the real voters, or are those the voices of the lobbyists?
The donor class.
Yeah. That's hard to say.
But now we have both on our side. We have us and we have institutions that are putting money in.
Yeah.
They want a piece of this game too. So I think this is all very pro crypto for what we were saying. And it wasn't the bill we were talking about last week, the FIT 21.
That one's bill.
Yeah, this was the bill that went through the House and the Senate.
Yes.
And was a bill on the president's desk.
Yeah, it went all the way to the president's desk before it got vetoed.
But it was just about one issue. It was about institutions custodian
Regulated institutions.
Regulated, having their own custody of their own crypto. That FIT 21 was a regulation bill about crypto in general.
So the veto went against the guys with the big money then.
And we don't know why.
Well,
the other thing is
but it went against the guys with the big money. So,
but maybe they wanted something else in exchange. For all we know, this could have been about a trade-off for Ukraine. We just don't know, right? We don't know why it really went down.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't know the politics. I'll say that.
Don't know.
I don't know
we don't know.
But I will say that you don't make that hard veto like that and not. You're drawing a line in the sand.
Maybe, but watch another bill come up that says the same thing in a more palatable way that they do pass.
Yeah, no, that's a negotiation process.
Yeah, but maybe this wasn't pure enough for someone. There was something attached to it we don't know about. Like, we don't know the games behind the scenes.
Brian, my bag went down when the veto went through. Come on, the crypto market crashed. That guy sucks.
I'll bet you something. Maybe financial institutions don't want to custodian their own crypto. Maybe they torpedoed it themselves. Maybe they're happy to have Coinbase custodian job.
I don't know how many people.
Is it profitable for them to have their own custody?
It could be.
Is it though? I mean, it's riskier.
I mean, it comes with risk. Sure, it comes with risk, and maybe they don't want to deal with that risk. But
right.
But banks take custody of property, and property has risks to go with it too.
Yeah, but there's clawback features for that. There's not clawback features if some hacker stole Bitcoin, right? And maybe their insurance companies behind the scenes have a voice in this. We just don't know.
I hear you. That's true. That there are forces unseen that could be directing that. But it's hard to think that. I struggle with the part where we get broad bipartisan support on these things, and then we just get the veto that comes out Friday evening on the quiet, so that everybody. Let's talk about what was wrong with it. Let's just not just say no.
Well, I hadn't even heard that this was on the president's desk until it was vetoed. Did you know about it?
Well, I heard about it on X.
Oh, so after it was vetoed?
It was
or right before.
It was that the bill was on the desk, and then it came back saying that it was rejected.
See, I hadn't heard about it at all. I had weeks ago. I did not know this was something that was.
Yeah, weeks ago I didn't know it was coming up either. It's kind of one of those stealthy things that creeped up. But it's more about how we're hybridizing the financial system to include crypto, and this scares some people, and this is a problem for some businesses. Right. There are certain groups that stand to lose from the integration of crypto into the broader markets.
The Warren Buffetts and the Charlie Mungers, right, that hate crypto.
Well,
I mean, they're going away.
They don't understand.
They're going away.
They don't understand. And if you don't understand it, it's very hard to invest.
Right.
It's like I've been saying for a while. It's like we've had this big meme coin rush, but I can barely take part in it because I don't really meme. So it's hard for me to know what's a really good meme, Like if it's a really good meme, I hear about it, but I'm late.
Right, we're not in those communities, right?
Well, not only am I not in that kind of thing, I mean, I am in some communities that are memey, but I don't generate memes, and I don't I'm not out there going, oh, that'd make a perfect meme.
Right.
And there are a lot of people out there that are doing that now, and they're going, oh, this one's perfect. Watch, I'm going to go to the meme factory and make a meme, and they put their own text on there because they got a good line from their buddy while they're sitting having lunch or something. And that's that's kind of part of the fun of it too, is it's real grassroots.
Right.
So people are really enjoying that, but I don't know how to pick them. And if you're talking about me putting money in them, I want to pick one that I know I have confidence in.
Right.
Not that I know is going to win, because we always know that when we invest, we're going to, 100x.
Every time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But some people are making huge money on these because they right away spot them and they go, oh, that's a good meme. And then they go eat that up. And then they know when to get out too, because it takes a little spike early and they get out and then it dies, or they ride the thing because they know more than I know.
Right, and then they have some legs on this going to continue.
Yeah, somehow or another they know. Oh, that one's got legs.
Right,
like Pepe. Right, I didn't trigger on Pepe right away, but then I was like, everybody's Pepe this, Pepe that. I should get some Pepe.
Well, we've mentioned Pepe a few times now.
Yeah.
Where are you at this week on your Pepe? Is it still going up? Are you holding?
So it's kind of in consolidation. I am holding.
Okay.
It's about 10x from where I started.
Yeah.
So it's significant upside territory. But
are you tempted to take profits right now on your Pepe, or are you going to let it ride and you think it's going up?
Yeah. So I want to follow my own rules and take my money out. That's what I want to do, but I haven't done it yet.
Why?
Well, because it was 11.5x, and then it dropped back to 10x.
You want your gains back?
I want my money back.
Okay, you're breaking your rules. You get emotional.
I'm totally breaking my rules.
Yeah,
but I'm also, in some ways, like Pepe is really one of the only meme coins that I ever found that went up even after I got it. I've got plenty of memes that's just shit.
Yeah.
Just because I'm degenning, right? I'm playing with it and messing with things that I really don't. Mm-hmm. It's just fun. It's, when you put $50 in there and it goes 10x and you're like, ooh, I got $500. It's not life-changing money.
No, and it's not just a loss if you lose it. Right?
Yeah, and $50 is what, a few coffees? I mean, nowadays it's ridiculous.
Right.
I can't get out of McDonald's for under $20 and I'm the only guy walking in, paying for one meal and they're $18.
Yeah.
No, wait, I'm leaving, man. What are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's getting crazy. So why not put that in some crypto coin that might be enough to get 2 cheeseburgers next week? I mean,
right. Absolutely. And finding those memes early on there's so many.
So
many of them.
I'm so much more comfortable buying medium-term holds that have great promise.
Right.
Things that are utilitarian or functional in nature to reduce friction for activity in the traditional world.
So would you call that in the top 20 market caps of crypto? Things like Coinbase and VeChain. VeChain doesn't really. I like what VeChain does, but
I love what they do, and I love how they're a real utility thing.
Right.
They don't make any money.
No, they can't.
The coin doesn't appreciate.
It shouldn't, because they need it for fees, and it needs to stay cheap so it can be. So there's something there. I remember doing a deep dive onto this. I think we talked about this a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, and I still have a little bit of VeChain just because I like it.
But it's not going to 100x.
No, it probably never.
I think by design it's not supposed to 100x.
Yeah,
it's a high volume. It's supposed to be. It's not.
But see that's the thing, though. I mean, everybody wants to look for what's going to 100x or 1000x.
No, it's not going to be the big ones in the top.
For GE, man, I don't need the 1000x.
Right.
I want something that's going to chug along and turn into a powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start looking at something like Daystan, which is the new thing from Rug Radio and Decrypt Media, those two have joined together and now they're worldwide. They produce content. Dozens and dozens of people are producing content for them. They have reporters. They have media channels. They're hooking up with some really big names, and they're going places. They're growing, and those are the kinds of things that I think are worth supporting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in there. I was in Rug Radio. I minted Rug Radio, so I was there from the very early. I was within 3 or 4 months of the founding of Rug Radio, from the first podcast or Spaces. It was a Spaces. But those are the ones that I think have promise, and I'm willing to wait for them. And I don't think I'm going to 100x or 1000x on that, but I think I'm going to take part in a revolution in media where the people who are producing the media get to take part in it directly, and the people who are actively participating as listeners and members of that community can also take a measure of profit or a measure of, informational content that they can trust, a source they can trust.
Right. Maybe they'll reach out to us.
Yeah. I don't know about that. You can actually apply, though. I should say that. To be fair, Rug Radio started. It was, we have an application process. You can start a show. We'll help you run your show. And so when they first did it, they were looking for content creators. They were looking for people to hold shows, and they promoted those artists and personalities to do more. And they're part of that community today.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just an example. There are so many other places where the longer term use and value is going to outweigh the flash in the pan Pepes and these kinds of things, right? I don't expect Shiba Inu and Dogecoin and Pepe and WIF to all end up with 50 billion market caps. You know what I mean? They're not
right.
Some of these are going to go up in the longer term, and some of them are going to kind of go up and down and waffle down near the ground for a long time. And could I do well on one of those? Maybe, but I don't. That's not a place I know a lot. So go somewhere else where I know, like Chainlink. You know, Chainlink's a solid performer, and they're undervalued. So I expect them to go up. Solana.
Do you think Chainlink's undervalued right now?
I do.
Why? Because of what the product they provide to the marketplace?
So they provide invaluable resources, and they're part of the underpinnings of Web3.
And they're pushing from Web3 also to coordinating with the traditional financial markets.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting game right there, right?
It's a bridge.
Yeah, it's a bridge. We should, if they have an ETF, we should be tracking that ETF like crazy. In fact, we should be tracking all the ETFs on this channel.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense because we're looking at adoption.
Right.
We're looking at the gateway to legitimacy, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. The traditional world is saying, I value this. I know you value it, but now I value it too. And they're taking part because they see something.
You know, that's interesting. That could be a real angle for us about paying attention to the adoption where crypto is being adopted in the real world.
Yeah.
Not just talking about crypto in general. I know, and that was just you and I sort of talking about the channel.
Yeah.
But that's really where we've been wanting to see crypto go in the long term. We've been talking for a while. Is where's the adoption going to happen in the real world? And when it's just not a bunch of crypto bros trading their coin back and forth.
Yeah, that's a zero-sum game.
It is. But when the old lady down the street that we joke about, and she walks into a meeting and she owns some coin, right? Or some business is legitimately using it.
Right. Well, we talked about this in our group too, in Saturday mornings. We get together and we talk about how can our local community take part in the crypto revolution,
right?
Know? And we've talked about, Coeur d'Alene coin or
North Idaho you just geographically pinpointed us for our people.
That's okay.
Well, because Coeur d'Alene's a paradise. Why not?
Well,
it's paradise.
And I don't live in Coeur d'Alene, so it's
no. But I want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so. I don't want to live so close to everybody. I'm ready to move out in the woods, man.
I want a condo right in the big tower.
I want a Starlink and a 30-minute drive to the grocery store.
But back to the adoption part. I think that is something that you and I both get sort of jazzed about, is when we start seeing that adoption in the real world, because that legitimizes everything that we've been talking about and studying and learning.
So one of the things that I found the most fascinating when I first started in crypto was that the primary, one of the primary things that crypto does really efficiently is trustless disintermediation. So the ability
to break that down.
Yeah. So the ability to transact with someone that you don't know, that lives someplace that you don't know.
Right.
That is a secure transaction that does not require a third party to take part.
Fees. Right.
So
censorship fees.
So the classic parallel that people drive is Western Union. And they say, mom lives in the Philippines or Ukraine or wherever mom lives.
Yep.
She lives far away. And it could be within your country, it could be without your country, it could be in a far-flung land, it could be in Mars, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the idea that you can send asset value to mom quickly and without a large amount of fees and without a bunch of people in the middle that could screw you.
And the fees on Western Union are pretty steep.
Significant.
Right.
Yeah.
So the sending grandma $100 because she wants to buy some groceries, and she gets her $100 quickly.
Oh, to send her the $100 on Western Union probably costs you about $140, $160, something like that.
Right.
And to send it Bitcoin is like $5 or less, right? ETH right now. Yesterday anyway, it took 60 cents to send ETH from wallet to wallet. Okay. So, I mean, we're not talking about huge fees.
Right.
As long as that asset's useful to them at the other end, right? This is part of the reason that people don't send coins that you don't normally trade or aren't available worldwide because they're not useful. But a lot of people will send you something like ETH or Bitcoin.
Right.
You could send Solana, it'd be cheaper, and as long as the Solana is useful to the person at the other end. Most people that are not knowledgeable, like mom,
right,
probably going to be top rated coins.
Yeah, and we're a ways away from that scenario, sending mom in Ecuador $100 because she doesn't know how to get it into cash in her bank yet.
So it's actually happening quite a bit in some places, and one of the hotbeds is the Philippines.
I'm just saying, would mom have the knowledge yet?
Yeah, so
do the conversion into the.
What happens is basically they get walked through it
by their bank.
By relatives or friends. They walk through how to go. All they're going to do is take that whatever that asset and convert it into local currency.
Right.
So that's the only part they have to know how to do.
Right.
So that can be done.
Yeah.
Right. It's when you think about it. If okay, let's just say I'm an immigrant from Mexico, legally here in the U.S. working, and mom lives in central Mexico, and I've been sending mom money. Right. I work at McDonald's, and I'm able to have $200 that I can send on a monthly basis after all my other bills are paid. I have $200 I can send to mom to help her, and she needs it. Yeah. Okay. So I go to Western Union, and I'm used to paying Western Union $30 to initiate the transfer. They give me 15 words or whatever it is they give me to send, and then they charge me a percentage of the amount of money I send. So in the end, mom gets $152. Okay. Okay. So now mom's got $152. I just paid almost 25% of the money that I sent, had to pay to somebody else. Okay. And now mom has to go to Western Union in person. Maybe it's not near her house. Maybe she got to go to the nearby town. Okay. And then she's going to get something from Western Union. Going to have to do what? Go to the bank to get it? Or is Western Union give her cash? I don't know.
They may give her cash, but
it might be a money order. It might be some things she's got to go to another institution. It depends maybe on where she lives. Yeah. Maybe the government requires something different. I don't know. But what I do know is if I did this with Bitcoin, mom has a cell phone. I talk to mom, and then I go, oh, okay, mom doesn't really understand. So I talk to my cousin, and I get my cousin to go over to my mom's house, and I work them through getting the wallet on there and sending me the address, and then I send a little test thing. So maybe it takes me an hour to figure out how to get my cousin to go and do the thing with the mom, show mom how to do this. Okay, now do this, right? Next thing you know, mom's got a wallet. I can send mom money. The money's in there. She forgets. She can call a cousin. Tell him, hey, I forgot how to do this. I need the money. Right. He walks her through it. She's got the money. I'm not there. What happened? I had $200 to send. I sent it, and the fee was $4. So now mom got 196 instead of 152. That's a big difference.
It is, and that might be enough of a difference for her to get over that friction of getting it then into cash.
That's why people are learning how to do it.
Right.
It's also not going through the border station. It's not being reported to the government directly that, hey, you know what? Every 2 weeks,
you're making income. They want
this money is coming. This lady is coming and getting this money every 2 weeks. So you could come here. She comes on Friday. So, crypto's going to win.
Crypto will win. And I like the idea of the adoption. I think that's a good focus for us.
I think it's kind of something that we've been trying to look at ever since I got in. I was like, how can this not be more popular? Right. And it's growing. Yeah. That's the truth. It is growing. When I got in, there weren't 30 million people, and now they're saying there's 52 million Americans in. That's a lot more than it was when I started. And I didn't start all that long ago. Right. So, yeah. You want to go get a beer? Yeah, it sounds good. All right.